Welcome back to Critic Cut. Today we're going to be talking about probably what's hailed as one of the greatest films of cinema, one of the best movies ever made, and sadly a lot of people think it's boring. And of course I'm talking about Citizen Kane, one of the best films ever made, one of the most perfect movies ever made, directed, written by, and starring Orson Welles. There was many things that were a breakthrough, like had never been done before in this classic film, like the aging makeup. It had been done, but not to that good of quality. There was visual effects of like actors acting when the other actor wasn't there, and then stitching the frames together. The compression of time when he was a boy, and then the way it transitioned to when he's an adult, that was revolutionary for film at that time. And so from a technical perspective, it was definitely a milestone in film history. But even just the story that's told is very deep if you think about it. If you haven't seen it, spoilers, the film opens with him dying and uttering his last words, Rosebud. The whole film is about this reporter trying to find out what Rosebud even means. And then it turns out that the Rosebud was this sled he had as a kid that was at the end of this successful life in pretty much every way, successful in business, successful financially. He married the girl of his dreams, but all of that ended up being, he just ruined all of it because he had a ruined childhood that his parents thought they were doing what was best for him, but ended up, it was what ruined his whole life. And that all he really wanted to go back to was that sled as a child. The story connects on a basic level with everybody. You know, it doesn't, maybe stronger with some people more than others, but even if it's something that we've never experienced, you know, that if it's a movie about, like, I've never been a multi-million-dollar newspaper tycoon who's tried to run for governor. It's like, I can't relate to that part of the story, but the emotional struggle he goes through, we can all relate to something like that. So why it's considered one of the best films, most perfect films was, I mean, it came out in the 40s, remember? So, I mean, this was like 80 years ago almost. That it still holds up today in terms of even the aging makeup and stuff, even though all that's gotten better, especially with CGI, but it's just amazing the innovation that this one man, Orson Welles, accomplished by writing, directing, and starring in this amazing film that has helped shape film history for the better, as well as telling a meaningful story at the same time. You know, some films will be hailed by, you know, film critics and people who study film as like, oh, that was an amazing film because it had this impact, but the general audience finds it boring, and I've heard from people too that they find this one boring. But I really do think it is a compelling film, so if you haven't seen it, go and see it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, tell good stories.